Hey, welcome in everybody to another podcast. Judy, tell us what we are talking about today.
We are going to talk all about cognitive stimulation and how it helps with your brain and what is it.
All right, sounds good. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Welcome to the Cogni-Thrive podcast, where we help you understand the signs of early cognitive decline and the many ways available to keep your brain healthy. Judy Pritchard is a certified cognitive coach with more than 30 years of experience, and her company, Cogni-Thrive, provides comprehensive tools to support cognitive resilience as you age. Join Judy and her husband Philip as they continue to spread the message that dementia is not definite.
All right, guys, welcome back into our podcast. We're so glad you joined us together. We hope you are following us on YouTube and on all your favorite podcast platforms. And we appreciate the interaction we're getting from everybody. So, Judy, let's talk about cognitive.
Easy for you to say.
Let's talk about cognitive stimulation. Did I get it right that time?
You did.
Obviously, I need some.
So we've talked before about how your brain is a muscle. Mm-hmm. And so you need to be exercising your brain just like you do any other part of your body.
Right.
So how do you exercise your brain every day?
Well, I'm assuming you learn new things.
That's actually really good. The answer
I am married to somebody who does this for a living, so yeah. But learn new things, right?
Yeah, because the answer that we typically get when we talk about this or when we're doing presentations or speaking events is that people are excited to say, yeah, I exercise my brain. And I'm like, great, tell me all about it. And what's the answer we typically get?
I do crosswords every day.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with crosswords, but I assume you're just kind of pulling information you already know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like if you watch the same TV show over and over and over and over and over. I'm looking at him because he watches Seinfeld nonstop.
I love it.
But you're not learning anything new.
Right.
And so with your brain, it's just like if you worked one muscle all the time on your arm. Let's say you worked your right arm all the time. Mm-hmm. That right arm, okay, it's going to be strong, mm-hmm. but the rest of your body is going to get weak.
Right.
That's the way your brain is. You have different areas of your brain that do different things, and you want to find different ways, different activities that actually exercise the different areas of your brain, especially if you have some that aren't functioning as well.
Mm-hmm. So how do you know? I mean, I know we do a cognitive profile, but say someone in general, like how would you know if a certain area of your brain's not working right?
So if you, some of the areas that people tend to have more problems with, as we grow in age is things like focused attention. Mm-hmm. So paying attention to something, right. Or being impulsive around decisions. Those kind of things. You may not recognize it in yourself, but your loved one, your partner, your spouse, your kids probably do recognize it. And whenever you have those things that people tend to chalk up to personality changes, could be related to something slightly changing cognitively.
That makes sense.
And so then you want to find some way to counteract that by exercising that area of your brain. So for instance, if you are impulsive about things, mm-hmm. then find activities that will make you focus on controlling those impulses, such as learning a dance. You may impulsively think you know it and impulsively not want to follow all the instructions, mm-hmm. but you need to follow the instructions and slow yourself down and follow those instructions. The best way for you to really figure this out is to get your cognitive profile. Find out where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are as far as how well is your brain functioning. Yeah. Now, again, people automatically think, is this an IQ test? No. Mm-hmm. We want to know how are you functioning to people your own age.
Right.
And even though we are still, for all intents and purposes, not having any problems that we recognize or people have told us that we're having problems with, you still want to check it out. And then areas that you have where there's opportunities or slight changes, you want to exercise specifically. And then a cognitive coach can help you figure those out. But also, the best way to do this is there are a ton of games, and I know not everyone's a fan of games, but there are a ton of games that work that actually have the side effect of cognitive of exercising.
Yeah.
And it's a fun, easy way that you can do and bring in socialization because you're
Right.
playing games with other people.
And actually just learning to play a new game, just the process of learning how to play that game, I would assume is a good cognitive exercise in itself.
Yeah, and so here's what happens. So in your brain, and I'm not going to go real geeky science on us, but in your brain, quite literally, there's something called neurogenesis. And when you learn something new, you're literally growing more cognitive reserve. You're growing more storage of power, if you will, in your brain. So if you have a head injury or a concussion, or you have plaque that's starting to build, it's going to cause breakdowns in your brain of where memories don't get all the way through to where they're stored. When you have this extra cognitive reserve because you've been exercising your brain, it uses that to help you continue functioning normally. And that's why it's so important to exercise your brain in the right ways.
So you can almost act kind of like a solar panel. You can store up energy,
Yeah,
store up
kind of.
neurons to help pull on the reserves later on.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be games. It doesn't have to be sit down at a therapist table and use your paperwork. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Anything that you don't habitually do that challenges you and may seem hard, but challenges you to learn something new. It could be a new cooking technique. It could be maybe you've never created a woodwork craft. Or you do something woodwork-wise. You
Yeah.
learn new tools. It could be that you do, you go on a scavenger hunt and you use GPS direction, anything different where you're challenging yourself to actually learn. That's the best benefit for your brain.
Yeah, because you've been doing that yourself with this new little sports rack thing you bought, right?
Oh, geez Louise.
She's talking about how hard the directions are on this thing. It's because the directions are pretty much non-existent. But she was telling me how hard it was, and I was laughing, going, "This is a great cognitive exercise for you. You're having to figure this thing out."
Don't you love when your words come back on you? But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he wasn't home yet, and I was trying to figure out this sports rack that I use for our cognitive gym, and the directions were these little tiny pictures. And so I've literally taken it apart 3 times, and I had to walk away and then
Yeah.
come back. But you're right. It was a great exercise because what I would have traditionally done is say, "Hey, when you get home, will you do this for me?"
Yeah. And
And-
then I would have tried to do it, and you would have promptly heard things being thrown across the garage. And
But I'll have you know, I got up early
you get
this
it
morning
fixed?
and I got it fixed. Yes,
all
I
right,
sure
we'll
did.
see how much it holds.
Yeah, well, hush.
But you always talk about me and my projects. But I love to build things. I love to create things. I create things in the video world all the time, but I also like to create projects and wooden things and make furniture and all kinds of stuff. So and I always look forward to that as, hey, you know what? Because you get those instructions off the internet.
Well,
It looks real easy there, but until you start doing it and having to figure it out, it really makes your brain work a different way.
it does, but that's also another good point that you brought up. So a lot of times people will try a new game on their phone, and so everything they're doing to help their brain is on their phone. A better way to do it, so you can do like a enhanced, supercharged cognitive exercise. So doing stuff on your phone and learning something new is good. Doing something with your hands or your body or moving is better because you're activating more areas of your brain. So the more you can do where you're incorporating different senses and different tactile stimulation and movement, that all activates more areas of your brain, which is just it's supercharging your cognitive stimulation.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah, that's great. So here's the best news of all. You can do this. We don't have to settle for age-related changes in your brain. You don't have to slow down cognitively. You don't have to get forgetful. You can work on this, but you need to do it. You can't. This is one of those things where proactiveness is key. So don't wait. Get working
And you
on it.
also have to have, when she talks about your family members or significant other maybe saying, hey, you're a little impulsive, or you seem a little on edge, or you don't listen as well. You need to really step back and not just brush that off as, they're just being annoying, and actually listen to it and go, you know what, there may be something to this. So you got to take control of your own health and mental health and cognitive health.
Yep, and know it makes a difference. It
Yeah.
truly makes a difference, but you have to do it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Absolutely.
You mentioned something about, movement and stuff. And I know that's something we're going to talk about on an upcoming podcast, because there's all sorts of studies about how making physical movement go with the cognitive stuff you're doing just really has a huge benefit. So I think that's exciting to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to do that on an upcoming show where we talk more about how those movements actually help, and what cognitive stimulation looks like with movement, and the benefits. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, don't forget to follow us on Care and Thrive Foundation's Facebook page. We do release a lot of information and videos around games, and I make Phil try all the games out with me all the time. So
some of them I'm trying to get a better attitude, because I do know it's important.
You are doing better.
I do, and there's some games I like. I'm just not a person that likes to sit still. It's not that I don't like the game. I don't like to sit still more than 15 minutes at a time. I like to be up moving. But
focused attention is another area to exercise.
Thank you. I can't win for losing.
So anyway, hit us up. We'll be happy to help out, and we have that online cognitive profile. So give us a ring, and we'll get you set up.
All right, guys. We will talk to you on our next podcast. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Thrive on.
Thank you for listening, and remember, we are not physicians, and you should always consult your doctor about what treatment is best for you. Please visit www.cogni-thrive.com to learn more about our services or to book Judy to speak at your next event.